began rising from the cracked earth of the Ida Valley, and the silence was so deep that the wind passing through the dried acacia trees could be heard clearly. Occasionally, the distant call of birds echoed across the savannah, breaking the stillness of the Tanzanian wilderness. Here lives a Hadza tribe that survives in the same primitive way humanity's ancestors once did tens of thousands of years ago. This was the moment they checked the most important things for the journey ahead: their bows and quivers. Each hunter carried a leather pouch at his side containing different types of weapons, prepared for every possible situation on the savannah. They ran their hands along the wooden shafts, checking the straightness and touching the cold, sharp metal tips. There was no noisy discussion, only the familiar hand movements of men who had spent their entire lives with a bow. As the sun began burning across the red sand, the hunting group moved deeper into the valley. Their bare feet touched the scorching dust directly, stepping lightly to avoid snapping the dry branches beneath them. The group stopped beside a tall mound of earth marked by several large holes. One hunter crouched low, using his fingers to lightly scrape the dirt and inspect a patch of fresh droppings. This was the sign of an aardvark, one of the hardest animals to hunt on the savannah. The aardvark was struck by an arrow, but survival instinct drove it deeper through the dark tunnels in an attempt to escape. The hunters did not give up. Patiently, they followed the animal's trail by reading the moisture of the soil and the direction of movement underground. When the meat was ready, the food was divided equally among everyone, from the elders to the youngest children. No one was left behind in this feast. They sat directly on the red earth, using their hands to pick up the hot pieces of meat still covered in ash and dust. This was the taste of reality itself. No salt, no seasoning, only the natural flavor of meat wrapped in the smoky scent of acacia wood. Aardvark meat was dense and chewy like wild beef, carrying the earthy taste of soil and minerals. Even the gritty texture of red sand could still be felt inside the charred fibers of the meat. For stomachs that had remained empty for more than 30 hours, this was the finest meal nature could possibly offer. While eating, they talked about the hunt, the depth of the tunnels, and the strength of the animal beneath the ground. These stories were not only entertainment, but also a way of passing down tracking knowledge to the next generation. They had no long-term plans or distant ambitions. They lived fully for today, valuing every piece of meat they hunted and every mouthful of water they drank. And so life continued, like the natural heartbeat of the savannah itself. Tomorrow, when the sun rises again, those bare feet will continue their journey across the red dust, searching for freedom in the heart of the wilderness. If they want to eat, they must step into the dry savanna of East Africa, follow footprints across red earth, listen to every sound in the grass, and search for survival opportunities in the wild. They are the Hadza Tribe. One. From early morning, a group of hunters leaves the camp with their familiar hunting dogs. They move quickly through low thorn bushes, constantly scanning the ground for animal tracks. A porcupine has been detected. One hunter stops, draws his bow, and releases an arrow. For the Hadza, hunting a porcupine is not just about using a bow and arrow. It is the ability to notice extremely small signs that most people would overlook. A single porcupine brought back is not only food, but also the result of patience, experience, and deep understanding of the savanna ecosystem. The Hadza follow fresh traces across the ground. They observe disturbed soil, footprints pressed into dry mud, and grass bent in a single direction. Then, after a long pursuit, they finally spot it, now within range. Bows are immediately raised, and an arrow cuts through the air. It strikes the target, but the animal does not fall immediately. Its survival instincts allow it to run a little further. The hunters persist in the chase. After a while, the poison takes effect, and the animal collapses. The hunt is successful. For the Hadza, almost no potential source of food is ignored. From small birds, squirrels, and mongooses to porcupines and wild boars, everything has value in an environment where food does not appear regularly. For the Hadza, every hunting opportunity is valuable. They cannot wait until tomorrow because in the harsh savanna, no one knows if food will still be available the next day. When they return to camp, the meat is roasted directly over hot coals. No modern kitchen, no complex tools. Everyone simply sits around the fire waiting for the food to cook. Children stand nearby, watching adults process the prey and gradually learning survival skills through everyday life. For the Hadza, hunting is not only about food. It is experience, observation, and adaptability, the skills that have allowed them to survive for generations in the East African savanna.
Lami ba shashakata chana piti.